Hi, my name's Katherine. I developed anorexia around the age of 12, 13, not long after starting high school. Found that transition a little bit difficult, and I was a little bit plump at the time, as many youngsters that age are. And somebody made a comment at school about me being fat, and I think that was the catalyst for me. And before I really knew what was going on, I was very thin, very, very thin over a period of months. I was unwell for a few years. I managed to gain a satisfactory body weight by about the age of 15, 16. But it took a bit longer for my body to go back to normal with regards to menstruation, etc. And really, I think that up until my first child was born, when I was 22, I think I struggled up until that point. I never lost the amount of weight that I'd originally done before, but I think there was a big risk that could have happened up until he was born. I mean, I'm in my 50s, and when I was unwell, it wasn't really so much understood about eating disorders. So although they would be in my mum's medical book, anorexia was in my mum's medical book. And when mum took me to the GP, he said it's anorexia nervosa. His advice was that I should go home and eat lots of jelly and custard, which of course horrified me, frightened the life out of me, was probably very inappropriate. Mum was a little bit cleverer and understood something was going on here, which she needed to try to get her head round. So yeah, it was Mum. Mum was my support, fortunately. My mum made it very clear from the get-go that she wanted to work with me on this. She obviously wanted to help me to get better. And I was very lucky, because even though she was working full-time as well, she made it very clear that she was going to do whatever it takes to try and work with me. I sometimes wonder how she did what she did, because she'd had no formal training and had not met this situation before. But she worked with me day in and day out, nurturing my paranoia over literally everything to do with food and exercise. So that was a mammoth task for Mum. I collapsed at school on the floor one day. I fainted. And that was when they realised how thin I was, and that was really the first time that it was pointed out to Mum and Dad as well. And I'd gotten to the point where I was actually having difficulty breathing. I could feel my heart rate going, and I was constantly frozen. So when I started to gain some weight, it was about feeling warmer, feeling I actually could breathe a bit better, because it was really having quite a physical effect on me. And just really, I started to notice that where my trousers had been kind of like hanging around me, I was starting to recognise that I looked better with a bit more weight on me. It was a long time before I actually accepted that a normal weight was the right thing. But I started to feel a little bit more comfortable about gaining weight. Although, as with anybody with an eating disorder, the concept of that is quite frightening. I really needed my eating plan. It was very rigid in order for me to be able to cope with it. So I think it was about mapping out healthy food, a healthy diet. I was never going to start eating cream cakes and things, but it's about sitting down and looking at a good healthy diet and trying to have small amounts of that, even if it means weighing it out, as long as you're having those vitamins and minerals. So it was about really broadening the diet out, and just really not overstressing about what I should and shouldn't be doing. It was about, what do you want to do? My mum gave me control, because I feel that a lot of my eating disorder was feeling as if I had no control over things. So it's about giving me control over what I was eating. And I think that's the important thing, to just recognise your needs and incorporate that with, wanting to improve and get healthy again, and just go with that. Recovery for me meant that I felt much better in myself physically. I was no longer shivering. I was no longer feeling the palpitations that I'd begun to feel. I felt much stronger in myself, and that was quite a good feeling after feeling so unwell. If I had the opportunity to go back, I would put my arms around myself and give myself a big hug and say, you know, you do look fine, and you have a right to be as you want to be, and you're not as you perceive yourself to be. Please just like yourself a little bit more, and please talk to people if you're feeling really lost. But you know, and I think that that's what I would say to any young person that I felt did confide in me, is to just please think a little bit about how important your health is. My eating disorder limited me quite a lot because it took away my confidence as well. At the time I couldn't see that, but I knew that something was terribly wrong, and it was certainly related to the rigidity of the eating disorder itself and my need to be, I couldn't eat out for a start, I couldn't eat in front of people, so it was very limiting, and if moving forward, you know, I could, and it did affect my studies at school as well, because I didn't feel very well. Because I've had an eating disorder myself, I understand the journey, and it's a subject close to my heart, and I've always wanted to help other people to follow the same journey as I have towards recovery. So finding ABC and being able to connect and get involved has meant an awful lot to me, because that's meant that I can help other people. So when I contacted ABC, it was I had a conversation, and they could see that my motivation was really on wanting to help other people. I attended the training, which was very, very interesting. We had a full weekend, met other people that had also recovered, so it was fantastic to meet people who understood what I'd been through. And moving forward, I'm looking forward to helping others. Becoming a befriender was a very straightforward process, and there's lots of support on an ongoing basis. If you need this form of ongoing support and would like a befriender, please visit Anorexia and Bulimia Care's website.